How's it going, everybody? My name is Boris, and I'm here to try and really encourage as many people out there. I'm going to provide a little bit of my story. I want to thank everybody here for watching and to actually provide me this space and time to be able to open up. This is a very, very tough subject for me to be honest and open about. But I think that this person's struggle is something that's really important for other people to hopefully be able to relate with and to be able to give them enough courage to open up about their own internal struggles. But personally, about me, you know, um, I decided that once I really wanted to become a closer person to my family, to my friends, to our Lord, to our God, I realized that there were so many maladies that I was still trying to struggle through, and I realized that when I was trying to, actually heal myself, I really did need some help that were far beyond my reach of comprehension and ability to do on my own. And so what I found was over time that I was able to drop a lot of my addictions. The long story short, I got very, very addicted to substances, and just found that there was something missing in me. That there's something different about me, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. Of course, there are a lot of factors that played a role when I was, a lot younger, and things have happened to me when I was younger that really did shape, who I was and shape a lot of my addictive patterns. So I learned over time that I was able to put away the drugs, I was able to put away the alcohol, but what I didn't realize is that in today's society, it's a very, I would say, a very hyper sexualized society that we live in now, where phones, computers, TVs, all that. It's a very highly technological world we live in, therefore causing a lot of disconnect between people. Being having close relations and close communication, close connection with each other to really come close and understand each other's faults and failures, and having just a really sincere state of love and kindness for each other, which I feel like is absolutely diminishing in our world. And so when I decided it was time for me to put a lot of this out and cut this out of my life, it was not as easy as I thought it would be, especially just me by myself. I didn't know where to start, I didn't know where to go, especially in today's society where we live in a very hyper adult content society, that it's pretty much everywhere you go. You go to a store, you just can't avoid it no matter where you go. And so I realized this wasn't just a me problem. I tried to stop multiple times on my own, and realized it just wasn't enough to do it on my own. So I realized that it was so incredibly brave for me to reach out for help. And what I found was, when I reached out for help, was two great things. One was that there is a possible, but two, that there is room for growth in this addiction for adult content, which means, when I first started, there were only about four people in the group, at least just here in the Valley. And to me, that was just really, really, really surprising, really daunting, because it made me see that just how incredibly silent this type of addiction is. I like to call it the silent suffering. And it's really, in my own eyes, that if we are struggling internally with this over and over and over and over, and we're so incredibly embarrassed because we know it's probably most likely going to disrupt our relationships with our family, with our friends, or even our partners, our wives or husbands, or significant others, or even just disrupt our relationship with God, or a higher power. um, so I can really see, this is a stigma type addiction, so it'd be very hard to overcome. So if anybody out there is really struggling and they want help, they want assistance in getting through this, what I will say is sobriety is possible. And you do not have to do this for the rest of your life, even though you really do have those insanely strong urges and compulsions to do it. Just know that that is not a moral issue, that is not a moral problem on your end. It's actually something that is a lot deeper, not only spiritually, but psychologically, emotionally, physically. Everything just has to be reassorted. So I hope that by the end of this talk, that there can be more people out there who are brave enough to come out and say, hey, yes, I struggle with this too, and not have so much pain and suffering and sadness about this, but to also know that this is the first step to actually finding the real you in your relationship. If you find that your relationship is struggling because because you perhaps could be, engaging with this content for perhaps way too long. You're finding yourself hiding or whatever. There is a possibility that this could be disrupting your ability to have real, solid, deep connection with people around you. So if you're interested, I am hopefully going to be putting out some flyers here within the next couple of days. I also will be doing whatever I can, just to reach out a hand. My promotion is actually more on attraction rather than promotion. It's off of a principle that I live off of in my program. So if you feel like, what, you've tried everything, you don't know what else to do, try this new way, and try not to spend too much money on trying to get rid of this addiction, because your addiction doesn't want, your recovery doesn't want to be spending more money than it needs to, which is a big reason why your addiction probably continues to just run rampant, is because it's really, it's a sick way, really retaliating against the recovery, which will find any reason not to go into recovery. So if you can finally get through those barriers, hopefully we can all come together, and we can hold hands together and hold each other's hands through this very difficult process of recovery, because the recovery is incredibly different when it comes to this type of addiction. It's a very silent, like I said, I like to call it silent suffering, where you're not really necessarily telling anybody else about it. You're good at hiding it, blah blah blah. Maybe you have been caught a few times, but just know that this is actually a lot more serious than just what meets the eye. This is more of a disease than an actual moral issue. So hopefully, if you're interested, you can feel free to contact me, or I can give you a few people's numbers who might be able to get you on the right track, so that you don't feel alone, dealing with this stuff, and hopefully you can get some support from your family and friends, and that way, it can help you to feel like you can finally feel comfortable with this, and feel confident that you can get through this.